Namaskaram, everyone. I'm Dr. Nisha Jacob from Career Guidance and Adolescent Counseling Cell, Alapura. We often hear about India becoming Vikasit Bharat or a global superpower by 2047. It's an inspiring vision, right? But today, I want to pull back the curtain on a critical challenge that might be holding us back. I've been reading an article by Dr. Shashi Tharoor, the fourth term member of parliament from Thiruvananthapuram and former Minister of State. He argues that while we have the talent, we have a massive research deficit. Today, let's break down his points and see what needs to change if we want to truly lead the world in technology. Let's start with a reality check. India is home to nearly 18% of the world's population. But do you know how much of the world's research we produce? Only 3%. That's a huge gap. In 2023, India recorded about 64,000 patent applications. Now, that sounds a lot, but remember, we are growing fast, that is at about 15.7%. But on a global stage, our share of total patents is only about 1.8%. And even more concerning is our innovation intensity. We rank 47th in researchers per million people. We have the people, but they are not being funneled into high value research. Dr. Tharoor gives us a staggering comparison. In 2023, one Chinese company, Huawei, they have invested $23.4 billion in research and development. That's more than the total combined research and development expenditure of both the private and public entities in India. Think about that. One company outspending the entire nation of 1.4 billion people. As NVIDIA CEO Sri Johnson Huang, he said, Huawei's investment has kept them just nanoseconds behind the best. We are falling behind because we are not putting our money where our mouth is. Now, you might ask, who is responsible for this? In developed nations, the private sector, companies like Apple, Google, or Samsung, they drive innovation. But in India, the government does the heavy lifting, accounting for 2/3 of the spending. Our private sector contributes only about 36.4% in research and development. Why? Tharoor points out that many Indian companies, many Indian businesses are risk averse or avoiding. They prefer buying a technology from abroad as rather than inventing it here. They focus on incremental improvements, that small changes instead of disruptive innovation that changes the world. Dr. Tharoor highlights two major disconnects that we see every day in academia. First is industry-academia gap. Our universities often operate in silos. We produce millions of graduates, but their research is often purely theoretical. It did not solve the immediate problems of our industries. There is no bridge to turn a lab idea into a marketable product. Second is the brain drain. As you all know, this is the valley of death. We have brilliant engineers and PhDs. But because we lack high-end research facilities and competitive salaries, they leave. They go to US, they go to Europe, where they are celebrated. We are losing our best minds because our local ecosystem is constrained. We are losing our best minds because our local ecosystem is constrained by the slow bureaucracy and low funding. So, what's the grand vision to fix this issue, this problem? Dr. Taru suggests a war-footing approach. First, we must raise our research and development spending to at least 2% of our GDP within the next few years. Currently, it's struck around 0.6 to 0.7%. To do this, the government needs to offer massive tax incentives to the private sector. Second, we need to focus on frontier technologies, the stuff of the future like artificial intelligence, semiconductors, quantum computing, and green energy. And finally, our universities must change. We need to move away from being just teaching institutions to becoming research hubs. We need industry-sponsored chairs and joint incubation centers where students and companies work side by side. To wrap up, Dr. Shashi Tharoor's message is clear. A Vikasit Bharat is not a sprint, it's a marathon. We cannot sustain our global ambitions if we are nanoseconds behind in every technological race. We need structural, financial, and cultural changes to foster innovation. As educators and students, we are part of this journey. We must move beyond just passing exams and start asking, what can I create? What problem can I solve? What do you think? Is India doing enough to support its young scientists? Until next time, I'm Dr. Nisha Jacob from Career Guidance and Adolescent Counseling Cell, Alapura. Stay curious.